Hey book friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my October TBR video. I'm so excited to pick some books. I'm going to be playing my TBR game, TBR University. I'll link above the playlist in case this is your first time watching the game, but it is a very straightforward game. So let's just hop into picking the books for October. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome back to the channel. Like I said, we're going to be playing my TBR game today. But before we get into it, we have to discuss last month. Last month was September. I played it a little differently last month because it was the 1 year anniversary of starting the game. And so I only played with one die. Thank you all for clarifying that die is the singular version of dice. But anyway, I played that game. And I got my largest TBR to date, pretty much, since I've been playing this game. Now, did I read it all? I was really close, and I honestly think I could have. I just got a little burnt out, and there's a few books on here that I know I'm going to need to be in a certain headspace to read them, if that makes sense. I think I'm gonna like them, but I will not like them if I'm feeling like I have to read them. So I just chose not to. So technically, I failed September's TBR game. All that means for this month, October, is that I play hard professor mode. All hard professor mode means is I take the extra dotted lines for a couple extra circles along the way. Usually doesn't affect it too much, but it does make it a little bit harder. So first though, let's just go through what I did read. I read this book, The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. I read The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrews. One of my more surprising books. I did read Apprentice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I did not read Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, although I plan on reading it in October as a buddy read with a few lovely ladies on my Discord group for my reading challenge. But I didn't get to it technically in September, and I didn't get to this one either. Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. Although those seemed like very fall reads, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I did read this though. God of the Woods by Liz Moore, and I'm almost done with this, which is Silver Elite by Danny Francis. So I read 5 of my 7 books. I don't think it's that bad. Irregardless, I did not win. So hard professor it is, but the other thing I do before I flip you around and show you the board and just start playing is we pick the type of course. So every month it's a different course and it's based on genre. So I'm gonna run a spinner wheel with a bunch of genres that I tend to like to read. And then if I land on any of the green squares on the board, I have to pick a genre specific book. All right, I have my wheel here. I'll pop it up for you guys. I only have 5 categories this month, my standard ones, which are like romance, mystery, thriller, historical, fantasy, and sci-fi. Now, you would think being October, I would want mystery thriller, but you'd be wrong. I actually really want romance because I'm running a romance project, which I think was the last video on this channel. I'm trying to figure out what I like in romance. And I want to do another vlog, and it would be helpful if I got some of those on my TBR University TBR. But the fact that I want romance means I probably won't get it. So, okay, we're gonna shuffle. Maybe that'll help. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And now go. Let's see what happens. You guys can watch with me. Come on, come on, come on. A little further. No, not sci-fi. Sci-fi is like the opposite of romance. But the wheel has spoken, and the course we are going to be playing in October is Hard Professor Sci-Fi. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I have flipped the camera around and you can see the board. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. I am taking those extra circles, and then the green squares are our sci-fi circles. Oh boy, I'm hoping we don't land on them, but I do have a couple sci-fis I do want to read, so maybe it's gonna be just fine. Okay, rule number 1. 2. Oh no. 1, 2, that's just a regular prompt. It does not have to be a sci-fi final book in a series. Okay, I have some good options. Let me grab them and come back. All right, you guys, I got final book in a series, which is a fantastic prompt. It's fantastic, except I literally can't make up my mind. I don't have a ton. I just have a number of different series that I really want to read, but a lot of them are quite chunky. I have this one, which I really should read. It's The City of Mirrors by Justin Cronin. It finishes out the Passage trilogy, but I also really want to read this. I just recently picked this up, and it's the last book in the Curse of Saints series by Kate Dramas called The Curse of Gods. I really want to read that, but I also really want to read this because I just finished the second one, and this is Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I've decided. I've been struggling to pick this up. I always add it as an extra to my TBR, but if I put it on my TBR University, I think I'll read it. But this is a little dicey to be putting on when I'm only like 2 squares into my game and it's hard professor mode. The Passage was one of my favorite books of the year, last year, year before, and I feel like I'm gonna start forgetting if I don't get back to it really, really soon. But what I love about this book is it's very post-apocalyptic, it's very scientific. There's this like virus that the government is involved in that gets loose and it causes just this big epidemic, pandemic worldwide, and it creates these zombie-like creatures. And we have kind of a small cast of characters who are the survivors who have to survive, but it's more complicated than that. I'm gonna pick this. Yes, this is officially on my TBR. All right, rule number 2, big numbers, big numbers. 3. All right, 1, 2, 3, and it's a sci-fi. Oh boy. Okay, a 1-word title. Had to think about that for a bit. Okay, let me get back to you. Okay, so I realized I maybe shouldn't have picked sci-fi for the one that I didn't have to pick sci-fi for, but we're beyond that. It's been done. I have 2 choices that are 1-word title for sci-fi. I was actually lucky I had 2 options. So I have Mind Walker. Now, on the spine, it's 1 word, but I'm going to count it because I saw the spine and it looks like a compound word. Then I also have Upgrade by Blake Crouch. This is by Kate Dillon. Totally different. So this one, I think, has to do with like superhuman DNA or something to that notion. It's also the Blake Crouch that I feel like people don't necessarily like, but I just recently this year read Recursion and I really loved it. But then there's this one. It's about an 18-year-old, so maybe this is kind of YA new adult. It sounds almost like she's part of this like government. It's not government, like a company that goes in and saves people, but it has to do with something with like mind control or something like that. And it goes poorly, and then she's on the run and she's trying to like win back the favor of her old company, along with the fact that she has only 12 months before the supercomputer grafted into her brain kills her. You know what? I'm gonna pick this. It's been on my shelves and I don't know much about it. Let's put that on the TBR. This is gonna be a little bit of a strange TBR. Okay, rule number 3. We need to get a move on here. That's a 4, so that's only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I needed that. I needed that. So in this game, the extra credit means that I don't have to pick a book. I can just roll again. Pop quiz, just so you know, means that I have to pick an extra book. So hopefully we don't land on that, but that's okay. Roll 4. Moving on. 6. 1, 6. Just a regular prompt. Reread. I just reread a book that was so fantastic. Oh, okay, let me see. I came up with a reread. I do enjoy rereading. Let me know down below if you do, because I know some people just dislike it. I like to reread before I continue with the series. Sometimes if I have waited too long and I just read The Raven Boys again because I want to continue reading the whole Raven cycle. And I wish I wouldn't have read it now because that would have been a perfect pick. But so is this one. This one's going to be good too. And that's The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So this is the first book in the spinoff series called The Grandest Game series. And the second book just came out, Glorious Rivals. And I sort of remember what happened here, but I think I would enjoy this book more if I reread this one. So in this spinoff series, what's happening is our main characters from the Inheritance games, we have Avery and the Hawthorne brothers. And now, after all is concluded from their story, they want to kind of pay it forward and create their own games. In this case, it's almost like a golden ticket from like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where certain people are invited to this island to play the new game. So it's full of puzzles to solve and mazes and different rooms that do weird and fun things, but it's also really fun to follow some of the characters because the people invited to the island, there's some connections with all of them, so to speak. So I'm excited to reread it and to refresh my memory. So this is officially going on as a reread. Okay, rule number 5. Let's see if we can get going. 7, that's a bit better. Okay. So we have gifted book. Ooh, I love this prompt because my sister gifts me so many books. If I were to pull off my fall TBR, which this is an October read, I have a couple options that I'm drawn to. So I have Immortal Dark by Tygus Gurma. that's like a vampire book, like a revenge one or something like that, where she's trying to find her sister or get back at some people for like kidnapping her sister. I can't quite remember. It's a sister trope though. I think it's pretty brutal. So there's this one, which my sister gifted me, as well as there's this one. So this is not as brutal, but it is kind of atmospheric. It's more on the YA, new adult, I think, spectrum, and that's The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. This has to do with our main character of Winnie, who, I think this is one where the father did something and the town is now like ostracized her family, and she wants to win them back by like joining this club, or the Luminaries. Feels very atmospheric, very fall, but then like I said, I did want some romance on this TBR, which I'm yet to get any, and I have this one. Well, so this is the second book in the Eden series by Devney Perry called Juniper Hills. Now this has the trope of single parents, because that's what I'm doing with my romance project, which if you watch that video, you would know this already, but I'm picking tropes to try and figure out what I like in romance. And this has that single parent. Now it's not single dad nanny. I don't know if I'm drawn to the nanny aspect of that. And the single parent in this case is the mom. And so, I don't know, that's kind of appealing to me. Oh, it's so hard to decide. I feel like I'm between these two because this just feels very gothic and atmospheric. And then this sounds really good and I really want to pick it up. And I like the small town. You know what? I'm going to pick this one. As I was looking at my stack over there, since I have 2 sci-fi books, I feel like I need to balance maybe some of the seriousness of the TBR so far. So we're going to go with Juniper Hill. And this has to do with Knox Eden, who is the chef in town. And the girl is named Memphis. And she comes into town with like a newborn baby and she needs a place to stay and she needs a job. And for some reason, she is staying above his garage or something to that notion. So rule number 6. If we get a high number, we could potentially get to the final. That's not high. 3, 4, 5, and it's a double. It's a double. Okay. All right. So we have 2. Honestly, I should have just finished my TBR. This would have made it a little easier, but that's not what I decided to do. So I have black cover and number in the title, and the way I like to run this is it's 2 separate books. So I'll be back. I hit the pop quiz at the very end, and that gave me 2 more books. Now, I found some good ones though, so I'm pretty excited about these books, so it'll be okay. Now I have number in the title, and I'm finally going to read this book. I'm finally going to read One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. It's been on my TBR, on my fall TBR for so long. From what I understand, it's about a girl who has like a monster in her head, not sure why, and then the magic is like a tarot card type magic. I don't really need to know more than that, so we're going to pick this one for the TBR. That'll be good. That's a nice fall atmospheric book, as well as this one, which I'm really happy for. It says, black cover was my prompt, and I'm going to be picking up A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. So this is the first book in the Scolomancy series, I think is what it's called. And it's my buddy read for my reading challenge, always linked down below. This is what we're reading for October. And so it really couldn't have been a better prompt because I needed to get this on my TBR anyway, and it's nice and short. Hopefully I don't get like sucked in and just want to read the entire series, although that's my preference for how I like to read series, but I'm honestly not quite sure what this is about. I think it's about a girl who goes to a school and the only way to graduate is to stay alive or something like that. Like the school is, I think, kind of like sentient, like it is alive, or maybe there's monsters involved. I'm not sure, obviously. But I'm gonna read it and let you know what I think. It's definitely not a new book, but I've heard such good things. That's the 6th book on my TBR, you guys. We only have 3 squares left. I should be able to get to the final square. Let's just roll and find out. All right, let's see what we got for the whatever 7th roll here. Good. All right, we're at the final spot. All right, I've loaded my spinner wheel, and basically how this works is when I land on the final square, I run a spinner wheel to pick from a variety of lists. So I have TBRs, buddy reads, or series, or you'll see. So what we're gonna do is we'll shuffle it a couple times and then just hit spin and see what happens. I don't even know what I want at this point. Probably not book of the month though. Keep going. Seasonal TBR. That's better. Seasonal TBR. So I'm just going to put on Immortal Dark by Tigist Gurma. Like I was talking about earlier, it just sounds very interesting, very atmospheric. It's a very October book. And so it says, a lost heiress, a soulless vampire, a secret drenched in blood. And I think there's like a university setting and a missing sister. I'll let you know what I think about this. It's another 7-book TBR. We'll see. I'm really excited for a lot of these though. It's a different kind of TBR than I'm used to. It does have a lot of fall vibes. I have A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, and Immortal Dark by Tigist Gurma. I have a number of sci-fi books. The final book in the Passage series called The City of Mirrors by Justin Cronin. I have a random sci-fi called Mindwalker by Kate Dillon. I have a romance, one romance cut on here, and that's the second book in the Eden series, Juniper Hill by Devney Perry, and then a little bit of a YA book, which I need a reread. And so that's The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. All right, you guys, that's it for this video and for this game. Let me know what you think of my selections. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you think of them. But if you don't necessarily have anything you want to say, let's do this emoji. Let's do is that a clover? Some sort of leaf, I guess, if there's not a clover, but something along those lines as an emoji down below just to let me know you're here. But otherwise, you guys, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to, subscribe to the channel. And otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. All right, take care.